Hey, it's Alex here. So welcome to this lesson on emergency lockouts and roadside assistance. So let's get into the lesson introduction. So we're going to be talking about why we focus on lost car key replacement jobs, how to handle different lockout situations, and the ethical side of unlocking cars. So by the end of this lesson, you'll know how to handle emergency lockouts and practice a real life simulation. So let's talk about some of the main common scenarios you'll get as an auto locksmith. So scenario number one is the customer has locked the keys inside their car. Now the solution for this would be to use a Lishi tool. That would be your first call to use a Lishi tool, or failing that you would use an air wedge and a long reach tool to unlock the car. Okay, so obviously the best tools for this are a Lishi pick. It looks more professional. There's less risk because an air wedge can actually damage the customer's car. It can bend the door. You can scratch the car when you're using the long reach tool. So it's always best to go straight for the Lishi pick first. So that's the solution for that. Scenario number two is they've lost all the keys and they don't have a spare. So with this, you would need to pick and decode the lock and cut a new key and program a transponder key. So the best tools for this is a Lishi tool for picking and decoding, the key cutting machine, and a key programmer. Scenario number three is the customer just wants a duplicate key. So this would be when obviously they've only got one key to their vehicle. They ask you to clone their existing key. In this case, you would either just clone the key or you would need to program it directly to the vehicle. So the best tools for this are obviously a key cloner or programmer. So a quick tip is to always ask the customer for details before arriving to ensure that you bring the right tools. Obviously, it's best to just keep all of your tools in the van so it's always ready to go. But now I want to talk about where you should focus your business model on, because although you'll see there's a few scenarios here, obviously we're going to do all of these scenarios at some point. But what you really want to do is focus on lost car key replacement jobs. So the reason for that is this is the most profitable service you can offer. It's a high value per job. So replacing keys pays much more than just unlocking a door. There's less competition because roadside services and shops usually only offer duplicates. They don't offer a full key replacement. So remember what I said about the high street shops. For example, we've got Timpsons in the UK. They'll offer some car key duplication, but they're not going to go out when someone actually loses all the keys to their vehicle, although they may offer that now. But most of the high street shops you see don't offer that service. So that's where you're really putting yourself in a category of one. Obviously, the customers are in urgent need, so they're willing to pay for a fast solution. So in one of the previous lessons, which by the way, if you haven't got this full free course, check the link in the description and you can enroll in this course for free, where we talked about we're not worried about the competitions. We're not worried about high street shops offering a key duplication service because we're offering a specialist lost car key replacement service. So what that means for your business is more upsell opportunities because you can charge extra for key cutting and programming plus house lock. So usually if people have lost a bunch of keys, they've called you out to open their car and cut them a new key. Usually their house keys were on that same bunch, so you can often upsell them on changing their house locks, which obviously is a whole different skill set, but that's something you could think about long term. Obviously you'll build long-term relationships because customers return to you for spare keys and referrals, and there's less reliance on quick unlock jobs. So for a full replacement job, you can earn between $150 and $500 compared to a $50 to $100 key duplication or quick lockout. So this is really what you want to focus your marketing on, focus your skills on, is the lost car key replacement. So remember to always carry the full kit in your van so that you're ready for any situation. So the tools you need for emergency lockouts are just some few tools. So air wedge and a long reach tool. This is for non-destructive entry. A Lishi lockpick. The full set is recommended, not just one. Should have put the full set there. So that's the best tool for picking and decoding locks. And the big easy tool. So this is ideal for older vehicles with manual locks, and backup tools for tougher jobs. So obviously, if you are offering a lost car key replacement service, you are going to need the key cutting machine, the key programmer, and the battery pack jump starter. So let's move on. So the right way to handle customers in lockout situations. So I just want to get a little bit into the mindset here, because people are not often mentally prepared for this job. I have talked about this in another lesson where I've found that some people are just not cut out for this job, or perhaps the job's not right for them. It's not a good fit. But I want you to I just thought I'd include this mindset section here, just to really get yourself familiar with the nature of this business. So step one is always remain calm and professional. So customers will try and stress you, even over the phone. They're going to be sometimes in a rage of panic, because they feel stressed, frustrated, or embarrassed. Your job is to calm them down and speak. Don't go up to their level when they talk to you. If they're stressed, you don't want to absorb that energy. You need to be able to remain calm, professional, and just reassure them that everything's okay. You're going to get it sorted out. Step two is to obviously confirm ownership. So always ask for proof of ownership, ID or registration. Now, if the customer can't prove it on the spot, you could try and call the local authorities to confirm. Sometimes their actual ID and registration is locked in the vehicle, in which case they should have something on an email, or if they can bring up the registration for the car, an insurance payment, anything. Usually they've got their cell phone with them if they've called you, but there's many ways to just cover your back. I often like to take a photo. If I do have doubts, I often take a photo of their driving license, just to cover my back if I'm not 100% confident. So step three, assess the situation before taking action. So ask what happened, whether they lost the key, locked it inside, or the key isn't working. Look at the vehicle's lock type to determine the best tool to use. And step four, explain the process and get permission. So you always need to explain what you're about to do before unlocking the car. You should get that verbal go ahead, because what you don't want to do is get to a job, start rushing into it, especially if you haven't quoted them, and then they get a surprise bill at the end of it. Everything needs to be crystal clear. You need to tell them exactly what you're going to do, how much it's going to cost, and if there's any possibility of damage, you need to inform the customer before proceeding. So a quick tip is to customers trust professionals who communicate clearly and act responsibly. So you don't want to, like I said, absorb their stress levels. Don't let it get to you. And often when you'll be picking a lock, you'll often find that a crowd will surround you, and this can add to the pressure. So you'll start to feel the pressure of people watching you, or if someone's in a rush, they'll be saying, come on, how long is this going to take? And on and on. So it's really a skill set in itself to master the art of remaining calm. So some ethical considerations when opening locked vehicles. So obviously this prevents legal issues and bad reviews, builds trust and credibility with customers, keeps you compliant with the laws and regulations. Now, how to protect yourself from fraudulent jobs. So always verify ownership before unlocking a vehicle. Never unlock a car for someone who cannot provide proof of identity. And if in doubt, call the local enforcement for confirmation. So a quick story, I've got many stories, but one that springs to mind is that I was called out to a job that was kind of in the middle of nowhere. It was like in a field somewhere, which rang alarm bell straight away. But when you're doing so many jobs every day, you kind of you don't think about these things because you're just going from one job to the other, so you don't really stop to assess each job. But I got called to a job, and it was to this caravan park, and I'll call a spade. It was a gypsy park, and they've asked me to unlock a car. They couldn't provide any documents, and I knew straight away that obviously that car wasn't legit. It wasn't theirs, or something strange was going on. And I just kind of had to get out there sharpish because it got a bit on top in there. So just keep your wits about you, especially as you've got expensive equipment. Just try to think about, where you're getting called to. Is it in the middle of nowhere? Is it on a main street? Maybe fit cameras in your vans. Do what you can to protect yourself. So how to handle suspicious situations. So if someone's acting nervous or avoiding proof of ownership, decline the job. And if they claim that it's their friend's car, insist on speaking with the owner first. So remember, reputation is everything. One mistake can ruin your business. So always follow ethical guidelines. So a quick task for this lesson is to simulate a lost car key job. So you can do this on your own car or a friend's car. Just pick the lock, decode the lock, and then cut and program a new key and time yourself to see how fast you can complete this job. Now, what you'll realize is that the bulk of the time is on the picking and decoding. So if you can get that time frame down as much as possible, you can complete one of these jobs in as little as 30 minutes from start to finish. So take notes on what went well and what could have been improved, and get hands-on experience so you're confident when dealing with customers. So quick summary, and for the next lesson, so emergency lockouts are profitable, but lost car key replacements make even more money. Having the right tools makes the job faster and easier. Always verify ownership before unlocking a vehicle, and market smartly so you can get consistent emergency jobs. So that's what this next part of this course is going to be about. So if you want to grab the full course, like I said, it's 100% free. Check the link in the description or in the comments. Subscribe to this channel, because in the next lesson we're going to be talking about starting your auto locksmith business, which is super exciting. So I'll see you in the next one.